Remember me, rancher? I'm the Apache girl you saved years ago. I've returned to marry you. The wind howled across Red Pine Ridge as dark storm clouds rolled over the lonely ranch, turning the evening sky into shades of gray and copper. Daniel Carter worked silently along a broken fence line, his worn hands steady despite the rising cold. Life on the ranch demanded patience, and patience was something Daniel had learned after losing almost everything years before. Since then, he had chosen solitude over company, finding comfort only in the rhythm of horses, open land, and endless horizons. Thunder cracked across the valley, startling the cattle. Daniel gathered his tools, preparing to head back to the house when something unusual caught his eye near the old barn. Through sheets of rain, he noticed a small figure struggling against the wind before collapsing into the mud. His heart tightened. Strangers rarely wandered this far into ranch country, especially not during a storm. He ran toward the figure and knelt beside her. It was a young Apache girl, no older than 13, her face pale with exhaustion. Her clothes were torn and a deep scrape marked her arm. Fear filled her dark eyes as she tried to pull away, whispering something he couldn't fully understand except for one trembling word: help. Daniel spoke gently, keeping his voice calm as he carried her inside. He wrapped her in blankets, cleaned her wounds, and set warm stew before her. At first she refused to eat, watching him cautiously as though kindness itself might be a trick. Daniel didn't ask questions. He simply sat nearby, giving her space. Letting silence do the work words could not. Over the next few days, the girl slowly began to trust him. She learned where the water bucket was kept, and followed him quietly while he worked around the ranch. Eventually, she told him her name, Aiyana. She had been separated from her people after violence forced her tribe to scatter, leaving her alone to wander for days without food or shelter. Despite the language barrier, they understood each other in simple ways. Aiyana laughed for the first time when a young horse nudged her hat into the dirt, and Daniel realized how long it had been since laughter filled the ranch. The empty house felt warmer, less haunted by memories. Weeks passed and a fragile peace settled between them. Then one morning, riders appeared on the horizon, Apache warriors searching for their lost child. When Aiyana prepared to leave, she pressed a small feather necklace into Daniel's hand, her eyes shining with gratitude and something deeper. "I come back," she promised softly before riding away. Daniel watched until she disappeared into the distance, believing it was only a child's promise carried away by the wind. The news of Aiyana's return spread quickly across the nearby settlements, carried by traders, ranch hands, and curious travelers who always found stories more interesting than truth. Some spoke of it with wonder, the Apache girl who had returned to the man who once saved her life, and while others whispered with suspicion, questioning whether such a union could ever truly belong in their world. Daniel Carter tried to ignore the talk, focusing instead on daily work. But he could feel the tension growing like a storm waiting to break. Life on the ranch had changed in ways he never expected. Laughter returned to the house, and evenings were no longer silent. Aiyana moved through ranch life naturally, repairing fences, tending horses, and bringing healing knowledge she had learned from her people. She blended strength with gentleness, and slowly the lonely land felt alive again. Daniel found himself smiling without realizing it, feeling younger simply by her presence. Yet doubt lived inside him. One night, sitting beneath a sky filled with endless stars, he finally spoke what had been weighing on his heart. He told her he was older, that his life was simple and worn, and that she deserved someone closer to her own age and world. Aiyana listened quietly, then took his hand with calm certainty. "You see years," she said softly. "I see the man who gave me life when I had none. My path always led back here." Before Daniel could respond, trouble arrived. A group of local men rode onto the ranch days later, claiming Aiyana did not belong among settlers and demanding she leave. Fear might once have silenced Daniel, but not anymore. He stepped forward, standing beside her with a firmness even he did not recognize. "This is her home," he said. "Anyone who has a problem answers to me." The confrontation grew tense until figures appeared along the ridge, Apache riders, proud and watchful. They had come not for conflict, but to honor Aiyana's choice. Their presence silenced the argument, forcing the men to retreat. Soon after, under the wide-open sky of Red Pine Ridge, Daniel and Aiyana held a simple wedding ceremony. There were no grand decorations, only earth, wind, and witnesses from both worlds standing together in quiet respect. Aiyana brought out the feather necklace she had given him years ago and gently tied it around their joined hands. "You saved my life once," she whispered. Daniel smiled, emotion filling his voice. "And you gave mine meaning when you came back." As the sun set behind the hills, the ranch that had once known only loneliness became a place of belonging. And from that day forward, whenever hoofbeats echoed across the valley, Daniel no longer felt the weight of solitude, because this time she had returned to stay forever.